Florida, the Sunshine State. Tonight we have new reaction from Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer regarding his involvement in a movement of money currently under investigation by state criminal authorities. The scheme resulted in $10 million ending up in a political committee controlled by Attorney General Uthmeyer. He used the money to run ads against a marijuana legalization amendment. This whole story began when a managed care company called Centene needed to settle a dispute with the state of Florida. A formula used in other states indicated that Centene had overbilled Florida by $67 million. But to settle this claim, they only paid Florida back $57 million, and $10 million was diverted around state coffers, initially into the bank account of Hope Florida. Now, many people are pointing to the good work done by Hope Florida. It's a charity closely aligned with Florida First Lady Casey DeSantis. Now, we wonder just how many more Floridians could have been helped by Hope Florida had the organization not sent $10 million to Mr. Uthmeyer for political ads. Then again, after listening to Hope Florida Chairman Joshua Hay, Hope Florida just kind of sounds like a slush fund.
Department has no knowledge, to my understanding, that that money was coming into the organizations. I cannot confirm what the funds were used for. No, we have no monitoring procedures. We have no staff. I'm chairing the volunteer capacity.
The thing is, Hope Florida didn't misuse the money, at least not directly. Hope Florida didn't even keep the money. They sent the money to two other organizations, which in turn flipped $10 million into the political committee of the now Attorney General James Uthmeyer. These facts I've told you are not in dispute. Instead, Mr. Uthmeyer has astonishingly claimed that it was within his rights as a government employee to demand that a company in dispute with the state pay his political committee. This is wrong and dangerous, but he said it again.
This past week, some Democratic members of Congress were calling for an investigation on this whole Hope Florida thing. Sure. Do you want to talk to that a little bit, just sort of give your side of the story there?
So we believed as a state that we needed to fight back against this amendment. I worked in committees on the outside, which the Supreme Court has said government officials can do. Government officials certainly have a right, maybe even a duty, to protect the state against things like this that will change our laws and potentially harm us. I think a lot of the people in their camp are trying to come out and say, that I misuse funds and things, but it's all a smear campaign, totally false. There's nothing that stops outside entities from working with other C4s and nonprofits to fight in an issue campaign.
Just listen to what he's saying. We as a state decided to take a position against the amendment. That's not what state governments do. State governments administer the laws. State governments don't use their power to try to shape public perception of issues that are put before the voters to make a selection. Leon County State Attorney Jack Campbell has referred to this matter as an ongoing criminal investigation. We don't really know if it's criminal. We do know that the Attorney General has refused our invitation to come on the program and explain why he thinks the state can force a private company to pay his PAC after that private company screwed over the taxpayers of Florida. If Centene screwed over Florida taxpayers and they're admitting that they did it to the tune of $67 million, then it's the taxpayers who are owed every cent of that money back. When Mr. Uthmeyer said in that interview I just showed you that it was within his rights as a public employee, it was his duty to run advertisements against a marijuana amendment he disagreed with, it's beyond the pale. He's right that he's allowed to set up a committee and go advocate for or against anything he wants. But what he ignores in his response is that the source of funds for that spending is corrupt. You can't use your power in government to demand companies fund your political ads. Regardless of how virtuous you think those ads might be, it's not allowed. It's against a whole lot of really good laws. So whether it's state prosecutors or federal prosecutors or state lawmakers or federal lawmakers, here are 4 questions that must be asked of any person anywhere near this awful scam on Florida taxpayers. 1, who came up with the idea to resolve the Centene dispute with a $10 million check to Hope Florida? Was that Mr. Uthmeyer? Was it someone else in the Attorney General's office? Was it someone else at the Agency for Healthcare Administration? People throughout Florida government will know the answer to this question. 2. Why were 2 501c4 organizations used to funnel money from Hope, Florida into Uthmeyer's PAC? 3. Was it ever disclosed to any public official that the funds from the Centene settlement were making their way to James Uthmeyer's PAC? Or was that just something that people found out later? And 4. What was the knowledge of the governor or first lady in these transactions? It's possible they were in on it. It's possible they were indeed victims of this concealment effort that Uthmeyer seems to be so brazenly championing and proud of today. We will keep asking these questions because when the government has the power to force private companies to pay for political ads, that power will ultimately be weaponized against conservatives and liberals and all Americans. And we deserve better than that.